Good morning. Good morning. It's Rick, and we're on the XLeads today. And what can I tell you? We're talking all about onboarding, how to get started with XLeads, how to go from left to right, and how to logically use it, even if you've never used a piece of real estate software. My name's Rick, and I've been wholesaling for 23 years, and we're talking about XLeads. So this channel is all we do is talk about XLeads. We do talk about wholesaling, and specifically XLeads is the all-in-one software for a wholesaler, so you don't have to go buy 9 different software services, 9 different credit cards, and 9 different trainings and sign-ins and different various amounts. So today, I just want to give you a rundown on how to get started. And there's 2 ways to communicate with me. Number 1, if you have a question, put it in the comments, because if you have it, probably somebody else has it. And number 2, shortly, I will put up a link here. Let me get it. And if you have a question, we can do a screen share. I'll try to answer the question. If not, I will work with our staff and get it figured out. So let me put this here. That's it. So we like to have fun here. Now, one of the best ways to use this particular YouTube XLeads is we try to do the topics and we break them down. So if we did like A2P on how to register it, you can search the title and you can do it that way. We try to make it specific. So this one would be particular if you just got XLeads and you want to figure out how to navigate through the various sections. Even though it's basic, you really need to understand it. And here's the really cool thing about XLeads is a lot. I'm the first to agree with it. You get XLeads where you can comp, you can skip trace, you can do dispo, you can pull your list. You can do absolutely everything. But most of you start out to get it just so you can pull lists. So that's where we're going to start. Is my most important feature I will always focus is on marketing, because if you don't get marketing done right, the rest of it is a waste. Because I want you guys to make money in wholesaling and then use that money. And then as you see the powers of the features in XLeads, you can grow within your business. So the first thing we're going to start out is I'm reading your questions here before I jump into it. Okay, we'll get into all these technical questions on it. So let me jump into it and let me do a screen share. Awesome. So if you have a question, put it in there, because it helps us learn what you guys are having challenges with. And then we also try to create training. Because me and Zach are the corporate trainers, because we have huge buy-in because it's our software and we want you to understand it. So let's jump in. I'll do a screen share. Let me see if I can get this up. Share screen. And hopefully, let me jump back here and make sure. Perfect. Okay, so let's jump in here. And the first thing we do is if we go to our dashboard page, let me make sure this is working. Perfect. So if you have a question, put it in there. It takes me a little time to get to the questions. We're not a high-tech firm. We do these videos live. It is, I don't know, Saturday, I think the 22nd in May. And this will be recorded for you guys to play back. So let me jump in here. So this is when you sign in here. Hopefully it'll say your name and not Zach's name. But most of you are going to go to this lead pipes, or you can click property leads. And when you click that, you'll get a map of the United States. Now notice here, you can move the map around. You can zoom in. You can do all sorts of things to find the areas that you want to do. Now, you can either type up here a city, county, zip code, state, or address. The more specific, the better. And you can search an area like this, like so. Well, let me pull this computer a little bit closer because I can't reach that far. So say I wanted to look up, say, Montgomery, Alabama. I guess it goes, well, there you go. And so I can click that and say I know nothing about it. Now, the first thing you want to do is you'll notice you have what we call a quick list. And these are ones that you can sort out depending on what level you have. The basic plan is just set up for the basics so we can give you the best bang for your buck and give you the most value. That's why we can include skip tracing and do it as low as $49 a month if you commit to the yearly thing, because we want to give you the best savings on it. Now, say I want to pick the pre-foreclosures in Montgomery, Alabama. It's going to go down in search, and bingo, I just pull them up like that. And you'll see it'll have a tag on there, pre-foreclosure. It'll also use the AI and give you additional tags on here: absentee owner, board investor, high equity, pre-foreclosure. These are all great leads, and that's how you can do it. Now, if you want to even get more specific, you can grab this tool right here. This is a drawing tool. So let's just say I want to zoom in and say you wanted to do the east from the west, and say I'm just concentrating on the east side. You could sit here and you could start drawing a boundary like this and just use the drawing map. You see how you do this? So if you guys are in a certain section, you can do like this, and you go up here and finish your entire shape. And then it just pulls up the properties in that area. Why is this good? Because there's certain areas, especially in the places I invest, that I just cannot do when I do it. Okay, I'll get back to that. So you have that feature map. Now, if you want to look at the terrain, you can click and switch from map to satellite. And then remember, you can zoom in, you can do whatever you want, and it'll tell you what's going on with everything. I find it just easier with the map because I like to know where the main corridors and the roads and stuff like that. So that is one example of the way we do it. Let me go back up here. We'll go back to property leads so everyone can kind of see. So once again, if you have your map, it's this simple. You can draw your tool here. You can zoom in and out, or you can use your mouse to go in and out, and you can find an area. This is perfect when you do virtual wholesaling. Now, you have more options up here. This gets a little bit technical if you want to get into it, but you can break it down for specific data. I promise you, as you guys get to learn XLeads and we show you the AI integrations, this is going to become much, much, much more important, but understanding that's there. So zoom in and out. You can draw your the section of the map you want to do. If you want to start over and recycle it, or if you want to do satellite imagery, you can switch to that and do it as simply that. It's just hard to see all the data when you get into satellite imagery. And it will have any of your recent searches on here. And we even have quick searches down here. Now, what I like to do is, depending on what level they count, if you have the basics, you can go in here and you can pull a list. You could do tax delinquencies, pre-foreclosures, high equity, free and clear, and you can do whatever you want. Now, for those of you, some of the more advanced plans, you can actually exclude. So say, let's do an example here. Say we're going to do, I don't know. Let's do Atlanta. That's a nice big place, right? Atlanta's huge. So when I run there, I can go in here and on this one, and I can say, give me, let's do an odd one. Give me the delinquent tax activity. And then also give me the ones that are in pre-foreclosure. Now, Atlanta's huge, guys. And we get down to 268. And then if you want to exclude stuff, you could go through like anything that's an active listing. Maybe I don't want it on there because I don't want to deal with realtors. And we're down to 250 and kind of go from there. Now, if you go over to the filters section, let me go back and show you guys this again. So these are the leads we have up here, and it shows you all that. Now I can go to the filters, and now I want to show you how you can build any list from left to right. Now, Some of you, the sellability scores is an advanced AI feature and it's broken down per county. I will go over that in the end. But the first thing I want to do is always the property valuations. So if you look here, here's all my filters. So notice single family. I don't want condos. Maybe I don't want townhomes. And you need to always find out what your filters are. So my property valuations, I don't want anything over 300,000 because I want to be at or below my median price. And you'll watch the searching number down here and it will filter it down for you. And you can change whatever you want. Remember, the next one is property features. If you wanted to do property features, you could go in and figure out where I get property valuations. Property features is right here. Now, my suggestion is don't filter out too much because remember, you guys aren't buying this for yourself. You're buying them to sell your contracts to cash buyers. But if you wanted to do a certain amount of beds, baths, put a pool in there, basement, all that other stuff, you can do lien information. As far as ownership information, I like to do individual and trust. I don't care about businesses because now I can get their phone number and I can skip trace them through XLeads. And that's really easy to do. I don't really do mortgage information. And then listing information, I like to do ones that are off market. So I'm just giving you examples. Watch when I go down the search, it'll change stuff on you. If you're searching particularly for photos. And then if you want to do like lien or auction dates, you can come down here and pick out all this stuff. But the bottom line is all your filters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 different columns and you can go from left to right. To be honest with you, most of what I do is property valuations at or below your median price. And then the thing is, if you want to do property features, say there's certain properties that you do the best with, that's the one you want to do there. And then ownership information. That's mostly where I do all my filtering. So once again, you have filtering. I want to show you guys again. You can click the filter button right there. And it'll give you all the filters. And then you can go from left to right on all the different. This is when I'm pulling my marketing list. This should be the first activity you do in XLeads because it's going to pay you the most. And you have to understand that. Now, if you want to do one of the pre-select filters, just click up here. You just click on there. And then if I want to do the include, I just go up there. So if I just wanted to do the pre-foreclosures, it'll spin the list. I have 6. I click 6 results, and then you go through here. So this is simply how you guys pull the list. Once again, there is 2 ways. I'd be very clear. Well, you always start out at your property leads, and then you can click up here, and you can do the quick lists that are set for you, include, exclude, depending on what count you have. And then if you want to take it a step further, say you want to do a high equity list, you can go from left to right and sort out all these different types of lists. The sellability scores, a lot of you aren't going to have availability for you. That is the AI section. There is a cost to it, and it is per zip code. Our recommendation on this, very clearly, is 1 zip code for every 30 days. Why? Because it gets expensive. People say, Rick, I want to do the county. Rick, I want to do the state. You say that till we give you the bill. 95% of you turn me down when I show you how much it costs. So on average, it's going to cost you, just trust me, it's going to cost you more than $100 per county per month. So if you're doing a particular zip code that you're doing a lot of damage in, or you have a virtual area, or even in your backyard, you have the ability to move it 12 times. That's what I would do. And I'm telling you, and I own the software, and I'm giving you an advantage of this loophole. How do you do it? You reach out to our support team, and you can change the filter once every 30 days, period. Guys, don't buy the entire state. You don't have that big of operations to do it, and I don't think the value is there. We have some tools coming with AI that you guys are going to be able to benefit from, and I want you to understand that. So let me check any questions on this before I go any further. Okay. What's up, guys? I know I didn't shave today. It's just one of those days. Sometimes you got to give your face a break when you get old, dude, right? So, um, okay, I'm checking notes here. So, Charlie, most of what I showed you, you can do in the basic plan. The only one you're probably not going to get is the AI sellability score. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you guys love it. Some of you don't. If I'm getting started in XLeads, my number one focus is going to be on harvesting lists. Think about this. So those of you that have used PropStream, Batch, Deal Machine, all great services, the most important thing is pulling your list. But here's a really cool thing. For the cost of what you can do with the services I just mentioned, not only can you pull lists, I want to show you everything else you can do while you're on it. So the basic plan is designed with wholesale marketing first, because because if you don't get leads and you can't talk to motivated sellers, it doesn't matter what tools I give you in the software, it ain't going to work. So let's jump over. Let me show you the next thing, the next logical thing. We'll just kind of keep walking through this. And I know for some of you guys, it's basic. And here's the really cool people. A lot of people that are on this live stream, I have some very advanced people in here because I know Juan's on here every week. A lot of times Stan is. I've seen David before, and I'm not the best at memorizing everyone's names. Obviously, Bill's a good friend of mine. Bill's done a lot of business with me locally. So I love that you guys come around and play on this thing. So let me get back and get on my screen share here. You guys know I'm technology challenged. Okay. So let's make sure we're sharing here, because sharing is caring. Okay. Perfect. I'm in the right one. So now I'm just going to go back to the map here. And so when I run, so let's just pick something. Let's do Charleston. I try not to do my backyard every time because I know it so dang well. It's Charleston, South Carolina. So I've done some deals over here. And let's just say we are going to pull a tax delinquency list. Let's see what comes up. Oh, 0. Small town. Oh, there's 8. So I get 8. And then I come up and say I want to pull on this one right here. So let's take a look. Now I got to scroll the screen up. At the top, at the tippy topper, real quick, you get their phone number, you get their email, you get all the contact names and information. That's all included. And you can do that unlimited in XLeads. There's no other service that's going to offer you that. And it is wildly, wildly accurate. Now, you're going to get all the property inside information. And then here's the best part of it, guys. Once again, it even tells you when someone's not on the DNC. I'm not going to get into that one. 4-2. And so it's going to tell you the ARV, which is the retail, is around 253. And a quick wholesale value is around 164, 165. Why is this important? Because this is where most of you guys struggle. Now, if I talk to the seller and he's already talking to me about 150, 175, I already know I'm in the ballpark. I just got to figure out what the repairs are. So if you want to learn how to do it, go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you how to talk to the sellers. It's important you understand the concept. There's no charge to it. But you guys always want to know if you're in the ballpark. If you can hit this wholesale number and figure out what the condition of the property is, you most likely have a motivated seller. Now, if this seller goes, I need $480,000, I'm probably not going to waste my time because it's barely even worth $253,000. And this is why XLeads is valuable. Listen, most people we talk to aren't going to be qualified for what we're going to do. We're looking for distressed property, distressed sellers, and we're looking for people that need to sell that people don't want to sell. Now, in my opinion, XLeads is way too much information. So most of you guys have this tendency to go in and go, Rick, how do I comp in XLeads? It's simple. You see this? This is already done for you. If you just want to do a shot over the bow without going into the weeds, which I strongly suggest, before you get knee deep with the seller, find out if they're motivated. And this is where you find out. This is the litmus test, meaning the shot over the bow if I'm going to spend time with them. If they're closer to this number, I'm going to work with them. If they're 2 times this number, I'm not even going to waste my energy on it because I know there's very little motivation. Once I identify motivation and maybe I got to call them back, I can go look in the Google results and I can look at the property on all different ways. I don't need to show you how to do that. Or I can click this comp button. And what XLeads will do is go in with you having no knowledge or information on this. It's going to give you a little chart. And there's not much here. And let's see if we can go the last year. So this is a tiny, tiny little area. And let's even go back to last 5 years. So this is not a good one to do because I don't like to go back this far, the last 2 years, and there's not a lot of data on this one. So this one's going to be a little bit more complicated, and it's important we understand that. So let's pick another one because that's not going to be your average comp, and let's go back to the list. Now, South Carolina is not overly populated, and let's try this one here. Once again, there's all your facts, and I am going to clip on my comp button. Once again, it's a kind of, so this one's going to give you the comps right away. And the really cool part is they'll color code them to tell you if it's pending, if it's sold. And then your job is to thumbs up the comp, thumbs down it, and then it will run you the numbers and give you the average valuation on it. And here's the really cool part. Here's all the filters up here. I'm not going to get deep into this because this is pretty easy. I can read it as is. It's telling you the average AVM is around 410,000. But like you got some big number comps on these and you can go through them from left to right. Remember, guys, the comping, just so you know, I like to go back and use my shot over the bow first. This is it. So this was a different property. Now, you can get into it. When you comp it, it will save everything inside the file on the property. This will give you insights. This will give you the mortgage. It'll give you the taxes, everything you get the property tax appraiser. But it's nice because it's all convenient. And it'll tell you when, how long they've owned the property, everything you kind of want to know about it. In my opinion, it's almost way too much information. So when I'm onboarding someone and they want to use XLeads, I've taught you how to pull the list. And then the next one is how to simply do a comp. And when you do the comp, you can click that. As I said, if I wanted to just click, say I thought these 3 were the right comps, and then I can click download report and it will generate the report and it will actually put it in that file with this property. And if you go in here, it'll give you all the information, which one's active, which one's which. And they save them to the documents in your CRM. So let me go back here. Victoria Road. And so if I look under here, I can go in here. Now this is, guys, right now we are in the CRM inside of XLeads. And this is the part you have to understand. XLeads is on an opposite system than Ninja Mode. Ninja Mode is our Go high level account, which we include that in here with you. Now, I like to work with this until I find out that there's an opportunity. When there's an opportunity, we could export them and I'll show you how to do it. But if I go under manage here, this is going to be all my documents, everything I need. So if I click under documents, you'll see here, the comp report is right here. Now I can click it and open it up. I don't want you guys to play realtor, but it's important you kind of know the numbers. This will help with your cash buyers and everybody else you need there. Let me close that. And then, so this is where you can manage all your files. If you want to download this, you want to send it to anyone. If you want to upload any other files, you put photos and videos in here. If you want to generate paper, HUDs, all this other stuff, Honestly, a lot of this stuff you can do inside of Ninja mode. And then if you want to set tasks for the property, this is where you go. Now, let me go back to the original part here. And I want to go back home. Where is... So I want everybody to look down here. Number one, the free wholesaling course. Let me go through this for the tabs because a lot of people mix this up. Properties and contacts. Properties are properties that you pull and put in their contacts. They can be vendors, they can be JV partners, they can be other wholesalers, and you can link properties and contacts together. A database has to be able to integrate and separate. So you can have a contacts list and a properties list, and then a contact would be an owner of a property, and it teaches you how to do it in there. You have a marketing section here where you guys can do some advanced strategies. Don't worry about that in the beginning. The lead pipes I just showed you on here. Now, if you want to go through and analyze and you want to get into like the weeds on this, knock yourself out. It is deeper than you think. The repair estimator will actually give you local cost, and you can actually work up repair estimates. So if you have any issues with that, that's one of the best ways to do it. I'm not going to ever tell you to use the rehab planner because I don't want you to rehab. Now, if you go down to communicate, this is where you can email with inside of XLeads. You can do autoresponders. And if you go under manage, you can manage all your documents and everything. And here's a really cool part. Something that's really simple that all people that start out wholesaling should do. It's called a Scrum board. And this is a Scrum board. It's just an electronic whiteboard. And then you can move your deals from like left to right as you get them going in. You can change the columns. It's important if you stack up your leads right here, you have 2 leads if it moves to an appointment. And then we go from left to right all the way until you get funded on your assignment close. And this is a simple Scrum board. I strongly suggest you use this. You can move your appointments on it. And once again, guys, if you go down here, you're going to see here, you have a knowledge base. If you click on that, you can learn a lot of things inside of XLeads of what you need to get going. And don't forget about doing that. And then you have a support request. You can click a support request. Uh-oh. Well, let me see here. Yeah. It bounces all over. You can do a request there. Where to go? And it will bring up and it will give you all the people to contact. Now, if you have a billing question, you want to go to billings. If you have a technical question, so billing, anything with XLeads and Ninja mode is going to be there. And we have a phone number for that. It is Monday through Friday. We just changed the times from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. because people just like the times better. I got to fix it in here. So if you have any questions on the Ninja leads or your billing, this is the one you do it. If you have something technical on the XLeads sides on pulling your list, doing any type of skip tracing, that is going to be your number there. So let me check my screen here and make sure I answer any questions. Okay, perfect. So let me keep going and then we'll jump on and do some questions on this. So where's my present? Share screen. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to my home page here. So we've gone through lists. We've gone through comping. A lot of people go, Rick, how does the skip trace feature work? Well, one or two ways. We can just pick a, let's just pick his random zip code here. Pick one in Florida. 6,658. So say I picked in Florida and then say I want to do, let's do a tax delinquency list on a pre-foreclosure. See if we can find one in the zip. There's 4. Beautiful. I love niche lists like this. Now, I get a property like this. I pull it up. You'll see right up there, name, phone number. I'm going to cover it up. And that's how you do a 1-by-1 skip trace. You can nail the crap out of this. You can do it. Now, if I go back, I'm going to go back to the list. And this was a small list. Let's see, where am I? I added all these to my leads. And now I have these leads. And now I want to save them to my CRM. And now you have the ability, if you want. So say you wanted to import or export a lead. You can go back. Let me show you where you can do that from. I'll show you a couple different ways. Go back to my list. You can pick your list here and you can export them. It'll put it in a CSV file. I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. And then we're going to show you when I go over to the Ninja mode, you can pull the ones you want to move over there. My recommendation is I don't put someone in Ninja mode unless they show some sort of signs of motivation, because I just don't want to market to people that have no interest in what we're doing. So this is where you can basically highlight and export yours. And then I'll show you when we go into Ninja mode, the basics to do that. I'm trying to think logically the best way to do this. So I'm going to save that feature because I am going to jump over and teach you some basics on getting basically investor leads. So when you guys are looking to get your cash buyers, if you guys have the Pro plan or the X plan, you can simply, if you look on here, let me go back to, you'll have a tab on there called investor leads. Not everyone's going to have it. Don't panic. And listen, if you don't have a deal yet, like, you don't really need this right off the bat. But for those of you that paid for the bells and whistles, you can go over to investor leads. And here's the really cool part. So say I wanted to find a flipper in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, that's a very broad area, but if you look up here, you can toggle between all the different categories you can sort by. So the first one here are flippers. And then keep in mind, here's a sort them. You do by total profit, gross profit, and average purchase price. You can also figure the proximity to your deals. And I want to show you how cool this is, because this allows you, where the old days where we had to vet every cash buyer, and it drives me nuts. This one, I'm very confident when I talk to people. Now, I want to get rid of the ones that are like Zillow. For 131, obviously that's a corporation. Now you can sort them by total flips and anything like that, and you can work it backwards to forward. So this went from highest to lowest. So you can switch that area, and this person has 1 flip. And typically I like to look for the ones, you see the 1 flip, a lot of 1 flips. So I'm going to flip this back around, and you can look and figure it out. Now I'm going to get through the big corporate ones, but if I look through 18 and 19, that's a landlord flipper. I'm going to click on there. And here's the really cool part. There's all their phone numbers. I'm going to cover them up, and an email. Just saved you a ton of time and money. They're telling you they own 15 properties. And here's the really cool part. It shows you exactly where they own all the properties. Guys, in my opinion, I do not believe you can get a better cash buyer software than this for the value we offer it. Guys, some of these guys ask for like the cost of a car to get this information. Now, has 15 properties, portfolio. And here's my favorite part. It gives you the average purchase price. And then it gives you the landlords. They own 15 of those. 11 are flipped properties. And then the best part is they'll show you their average margin. And then you can go through each one of the properties and you can notice trends. You can view, look, 35 total residential properties. As much information as you want is on here. Now, if you want to go back, I'm going to show you this on investor leads. Let me see. Where did I? You could put an average price. You can do this. And once again, if you want to look for one that's a landlord versus a flipper, usually in wholesaling, we either have a wrecked property or one that's in decent shape. And we either want to sell to a fix and flipper or a landlord. So know your properties because it makes a tremendous difference. And check this out. You can do what we call the mom and pop quick searches down here. And if you read it, it'll give you an accurate description. And you got to go in and put in the information, but I can do, you can do the landlords, you can do anything you want on these and it breaks it down. And I just love it. Watch this. Watch when I click this. This is only one property they own, but it goes in, it tells you all the information, everything you want to want on it. And that wasn't a good one. So you can use landlord or you can use flipper. And remember, you can look in proximity to where you have a deal. And we got a really cool feature coming out next month. I can't really talk about it right now, but it's going to help you guys even more greatly. So I believe XLeads has the most advanced features when it comes to finding cash buyers. And by the way, you can skip trace, you can get their phone numbers, you can email them, and you can do this all right away. So let me, hold on, stop screen share. Okay. That screen share wears on you after a while, doesn't it? Okay, let me just jump into ninja mode and I'm going to quickly go through this, show you how to do some basic starter stuff and then give you some ideas to get started. And then you guys can research extensively the amount of topics you have on here to do some specific stuff. So let's see here. Okay. Last one. I know it's boring for some of you guys, but it's important we have to know how to do these because nothing's more important than not being able to operate a piece of software. So let me make sure this is working. Perfect. So now that we know that, if you want to go back, you can get into your free wholesaling course right here. You click that. You'll see that obviously almost 24,000 members must be doing something right. And so that's how you get into free wholesaling. Once again, it's all built in. And then if you look right here, there's going to be a little tab right there and it's called Ninja Mode. And let me see. Of course, it wants me to share into the wrong. Hold on. Where did I put my? I got so many of them. Okay. I got so many tabs open. I'm getting lost. Okay, let me switch screens here because that one didn't do it. Present, share screen. I believe. So guys, when you click that ninja mode, this is where you come into it. So first and foremost, if you'll see, if you want to do imports, all you got to do is click contacts and then you click the ones you want. If you want to do the whole thing, you can just click that and you can go up here. You'll see export and import. This is how you pull your leads from XLeads into ninja mode. So full clarity. We're the ones that tell you guys the truth. This is Go High Level. It is the most advanced CRM you can. And here's the really cool part. In XLeads, it's included free in your account. So take your time to learn this because I've had people go, I want to cancel it because I don't understand ninja mode. It is designed as an advanced tool. You really don't need it in the beginning, but we give it to everyone. So as you grow your business and you start getting up to 5 wholesale deals, you have the ability to go through your database and do follow-up, because follow-up is where most wholesale deals come from. So the sooner you learn this, the better off you do. So this is how you do that part. This is going to be your dashboard. You can build a custom dashboard. We give you all the templates and everything to start. Trust me, guys, I know this gets like super advanced, but like, don't let it scare you off. And even if you don't use it the first few months, that's fine, because we have it here for you. Because there's nothing worse when you use an entire platform for 6 months, a year, and then you've got to get a bigger system. It costs more money. It is a nightmare to move it over. We have absolutely fixed that, and I want you to understand that. So if you go through in here, you're going to have your contacts. You're going to have a calendar. Pretty straightforward. You can book appointments, and you can do everything that you want to do. Now, it's going to have a point where it teaches you how to do the conversation. We're not going to get into all that stuff, A2P. And the really cool part is when you sign up with XLeads, in 24 hours, you get a sign up account to your Go High level. And we actually do a short onboarding call and give you tutorials on how to do it. This will identify all your opportunities. And see all the automation. There's more than I could ever go on here. We have AI built into this. The workflow list, check this out. We go ahead and we load your account with the most powerful one. We do the double tap. We do the ROS. We do the AI SMS bot. And we also have the ROS triple tap. Go through the XLeads videos. It will show you how to do this. And it's super, super simple. You can even technically manage websites. You could do everything on that. And then the really cool part is, if you guys have ever seen on the e-signing, for the first time ever, we just include e-signing in everything you do. And you can go in, and if you use like DocuSign or anything like that, it's all included inside your Ninja mode. And I got to bring you up to the side on that. This is more advanced stuff. The membership, you also, guys, you get your own website that you can use. You have to link it to your Let me put it up here. You have to link it to your WordPress. And if you look on it, you can look at, you get your own landing page. We've already set it up for you. You just go in and you customize, and you put all your stuff that you want to do on that. You can do landing pages. You can do surveys. You can do all this stuff way above my capacity to do everything, and you can do that. Now, if I go under payments, remember I talked about DocuSign? Check this out. You can go in here and you can do a DocuSign. So let's look at this one. Well, it's blank, of course. I didn't put a document in there. But if I want to put like an e-sign in here, I can just, I put a recipient, you put it in there. And then if you want to do a signer, you can just stick it in there. Let me show you. I already got one loaded in here, because let's see if it comes back. So even this, if I had a there, you can just go ahead and you can put in you can add an element. And so if I want to grab text, if I want to grab a signature, say I want someone to sign right there, you can put it in there, just like you guys do on these normal things. And some of you guys are paying $40, $50, $70 a month. It's all included in your XLeads account. So let me do the last thing, and then we're going to take questions here. Let me go back to this. Okay, let me share the right screen. Last one is, somebody just asked me, hey, Rick, how do I do my government list with XLeads? And that, it's super simple. So you're going to go under property leads. And so right up here in this box, either you can do this, you can use the filters in there. Or where it says upload.csv file, you can click there And here's the really cool part, guys. If you have your government list, and remember, what you have to do is you need to click this button, learn more about uploading your own leads. It's going to give you a cheat sheet, a template, and it's only going to have 4 items. It's going to be the property address, the property city, the property state, and the property zip. You only can use 4 items because if you put in additional columns, it won't be able to read it. And you click it here, and then you just upload it, and it will spit it out in your XLeads account. Now, a lot of people go, well, Rick, what's the capacity of the data? Perfect, you asked. Let me just wrap it up with that, and then we'll take live questions. And where is my thing here? Actually, I'm just going to do it by, well, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up because I can memorize only so much. Okay, so let's do a screen share here. And if you look on the screen share, if people are asking what some of the capacity, any questions, you go to xleads.com. But I want to let you know right here what you get with each one of them because people constantly ask me. With the basic one, you still get 15,000 free skip traces with it, meaning you can inload, you can export, import. No other software does that in the wholesaling space. Why? Because they just don't want to give it to you. Number 2, you can skip trace unlimited one by one. Like you only have so much capacity to do that. And then I believe the X plan goes all the way up to 60,000. So some of you guys share accounts, do stuff like that. I want you to understand, just to understand which one of these fits, is going to fit your needs the best. You don't talk to a sales associate, anything like that. We just give it to you because number 1, we want you to be successful. And the last thing I guys want you guys to know, I believe March, I think the last day to sign up was the 28th or the 29th if you want to go to our LA event, which is going to be April 9th and 10th. The tickets go out Monday. If you guys want to come out, meet Zach and do a 2-day intense workshop with XLeads, we actually throw it in with your X plan, but it's up to you guys. Start with the plan that's actually going to make sense. If you're just getting out started wholesaling, I highly recommend just start out with the basics. If you can't afford the payment up front, which will give you a 50% discount, which makes you more committed, that's great. I don't think I even make any money off of that. We just give it away to you. And our goal is to show you value inside of XLeads, show you all the automations, everything we can do in ninja mode. And then you can move from the pro plan to the X plan because you'll see the value of doing business with me and Zach. So let me stop this. Get a little car sick doing the screen sharing type of deal. Let me check some questions and then we'll jump on the lives here. Let's see here. You guys are kind of quiet this morning. So tell you can pull. There's 2 ways I want you to understand. You have the quick list, which I showed you how to do that column, and the basic plan. There's plenty of like simple ones to do there, and then you can go to the filters tab, and you have basically 8 columns you can use, and you can sort it out as much as you want. You just got to put a little bit more effort into it. That is where you learn to be like a ninja, a list ninja. So you got to understand, back when I used to pull the list, every list I did was $300 or $400. I used to spend 8-10 hours. Now, I don't think you need to do that anymore, but it's important to understand every time you change the criteria in the filter, does your list expand? Does it shrink? It's important to know what the effect is on it. And it's important to know the ultimate effect of it. For a long time, people tell you, oh, mark the unknown filters on the list. It's a secret code. It's BS. I've tried it for over 10 years. The unknown did not get me any more deals than like not marking it. And so everybody sold. People made millions on this. And I actually went through and showed a year of test data. It makes no difference. Unknown just means it's such an older property. Sometimes the county lost the original property record, or somebody made a mistake, and you have to understand that. So there's 2 ways you go through it. You can do the quick list, which whatever plan you have, the basic, there's more than enough basic ones there. Or you can actually click the filters and you can go through it and you can customize it however you want. What I suggest is you play around with the area that you're doing investing. So if I need a list of say 3,000, I'm going to try to optimize it to the best of my ability. And remember, please start with average or below medium price, because that's where most of you guys waste your time and money on. So, um, let's see. Numbers transfer into the CRM from leads. Charles wants to, so you got to do the transfer. Will the phone numbers transfer into the CRM from leads? You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. I don't completely understand that question. And Kyra, when you start out with NinjaLoad, just take your time. It's like looking at a college 4-year degree, and don't think you guys can send it like, don't try to figure it out in like a 1-hour section. So what I would do is I'd figure out how can I use the e-sign so I don't have to pay DocuSign anymore. Solve that. Real simple. Go under payments, click under there and click under documents, upload your Flip with Rick wholesale contract or upload your assignment contract and start with there and just keep working your way backwards. So awesome. So Curtis, hopefully you can come to LA if you're out there. I have no idea what to expect in LA. I'm not a California guy. I think you got a beautiful state, but I think your politicians are horrible. But it's just like a politician to screw up like a beautiful state. I'm waiting for him to do it in Florida. It's coming. I'm sure it's coming. So, Michael, what's going on? I didn't want to forget about you. I know I'm on time, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you, man. What's going on?
So I've just been doing, I just kind of started this whole process probably 3 weeks to a month ago. I've been through like 99% of freewholesaling.com.
Yeah.
I've over the last 10 days started doing some cold calling. I've got a mentor who's letting me use a software of hers that has a dialer. Then I'm also on the basic plan for XLeads. And
Perfect.
so with her software, she's got a little bit more in terms of options for filters. So what I've been doing is just pulling the list off of her software and then skip tracing it through XLeads and then using the Ninja Mode. I just started using the Ninja Mode dialer yesterday and made a few calls on that. And I live in Salt Lake City. I've been doing a little bit of driving for dollars around here. It's the market around here is tough, especially for somebody with like a beginner. A lot of the people out here, they have a house that's valued at 450,000 and they want 550,000 as is. And there's no budging them from that number. So I've been looking at virtual markets in like Tennessee and Michigan to kind of get some more reasonable median home values so that somebody like me as a beginner can gain a little bit more experience talking to sellers who are, a little bit more in that ballpark.
Have you looked into your realtor's data for your area there where you locally live? Is inventory steadily climbing?
So it seems like there's a lot more buyers than there is inventory out here. Yeah.
See, Florida, we've gone from 2 to 3 months inventory. We're getting ready to approach 10 months. And it keeps compounding. It's getting to the point where the sellers are now getting the message. And I told people like a while ago, Florida's always been crazy, but like if you have an intense market like you do, the one thing, if you ever want to watch if it ever shifts, and keep in mind, you still have the values are there, the demand's there. You got to get some reality into the market.
Right.
Is once you get to like double digit, they base it on months. So if there was 1,000 properties on the market and 330 properties sold on average a month, that would be 3 months of inventory. So it is. You just got to understand the math. It's like looking at earnings per share when you evaluate stocks. I've always looked at 21 and now the numbers plummeted to like 12 to 15 with the recent change on the stock market. So the only thing is, like, I agree with you. Utah it was a big secret. Like I knew it years ago, and the values have just exploded. Montana's done the exact same thing.
Right.
But at some point, people will wave a white flag and go, crap. There's more properties on the market. Mine has challenges. I can't pay the mortgage anymore. And those are the ones I find. So the only thing I can tell you on the local market is track your local realtor's data. They have to share it publicly. Now, the problem is it's 3 months lagging. But if you see that number constantly climbing, because it's hard for people to get, like in Florida, the houses struggling are the ones at just above the median price. So our median price is like 450, and we have a lot of houses from 750 to 800,000. They can't give those houses away. The $1 million houses trade like this because they're high quality and like special spots. So what happens is that used to be the middle income house, and the market went nuts. And I tell people all the time, I can buy 76 other houses just like yours. What's the incentive for me buying your house?
Right.
And we're starting to use that term. We just wait for people that have to sell. Remember, the transaction costs on these bigger properties are enormous. And I still like to stay at or below the median price. So just never forget doing your local market, because I still make a ton of money in my I'm just very selective.
Right.
But when I make a deal, I usually make $100,000, $110,000, because the guy goes, I just can't wait. Now it's going to take me 3 to 4 months to sort that property, but I sell it still giving money away so I can make money. So I let everybody make money down the road. So I'm just, eventually you're going to switch in your market somewhat. There's always a lag effect. So just watch your inventory. If it's upside down, you really don't have a lot of leverage, but like after a while, they'll start going, crap, will somebody buy my house?
Right.
Because every realtor they meet with, it takes them 120 days even to get the first offer on it. So I just did a property. She had it at 1.25. And my original offer was 850. And she goes, you're nuts. I go, well, that's the number. Now, realistically, the house should sell for $1 million. So they overprice them because you can ask for anything. And when you get rich people with realtors, this is why we stay away from these types of homes. So she's come back to me 10 months later. She now wants to entertain my $850,000 offer. My offer is 700 now. Because we're chasing the market backwards. I'm like, 850 was like, I could have moved it. She goes, are you nuts? And she goes, she came back to me. She goes, would you entertain 800? I go, no, it's literally, we can do 715. And if she took that, or she goes, if I took that real offer, I would have saved myself a huge hassle. I go, I know. And I go, I already know you can't, the open market is not, you've got no offers and you got it on the market at 875 now. And so I go, and if you wait another 3 months, I might be in the sixes. So I have to find out what it's going to trade for today. And she's already figured out she has a problem. So, but I like doing those in my local market. Now, I already have someone who will buy it, but I have to still wait. I still sell at 60, 70,000 below the retail market. And the realtors will help me move it, but I have to really give up a lot of money to do that. So in your market, it's eventually going to happen. So just the only way you tell that shift is like realtors data. But you're having the same problem we have in Florida. But now Florida, we have inventory, which means prices have to give up. So we are not paying more for anything. We're paying less. And then my virtual markets, I'm all at like the investment price. I'm usually under 300,000, and I have no problem moving those houses anymore.
Do you think that bump in inventory out where you're at in Florida is from recent, hurricanes and issues like that?
We have hurricanes. We've had a terrible Airbnb problem here, like terrible. Okay. And the rest of the country is starting to see that. I don't know how Utah handles it. You've got a different state. Like I can't.
Yeah, that's what Utah doesn't have
like a whole other factor on your state, but it's your state. Honestly, it's been undervalued because going to vacations are like, oh man, this place is beautiful. People don't understand the value, but now but I used to be able to buy anything I want in Montana. Now Montana, like it doesn't even make sense anymore.
No, it's insane up there.
So just always watching your local market, because that's you always want to know what's going on in your local market. And then when there becomes a liquidity problem, that's when you can usually take advantage of an opportunity. Now, remember, nobody else wants to buy it, and the realtor's like, please, will you buy this property? But even once you get in the double-digit inventory, realtors actually will flip towards the investor side. Like you might want to take that offer, because more and more property comes on, the more pressure it is to reduce the price. So if I have 70 some odd houses in an area that are all similar, who's the most desperate? And that's our job to find out. I know that sounds ruthless, but it's the truth. But if you do that and then you look for in your virtual markets, that's what we do in Florida. So I'm never under pressure to buy something in Florida. If
Right.
it hits, we do it. Do I do 15 homes a month in Florida? Not anymore. We used to do this like nonstop. So we do a lot of wholesale deals, but like the ones I like to buy to make 30, 40,000, they're much far and fewer in between. But the ones I get are the ones that took 9, 10, 12 months in follow up. And they go, shit, no one will buy the house, Rick. Will you make me an offer? And then I got to give them the new price. I go, well, it was there. Here's where we're at. And long as I see that inventory going up, I'm just going to keep declining my prices. So,
Okay. All right. So I guess another question I would have is just to kind of make the best use out of my time. Right now I'm in Salt Lake until the end of May, and then I'll be going back up to Alaska for the summer. I'm a fly fishing guide up there
oh,
until
really?
October.
Now
And
you
so
see, what do you fly fish up there for?
salmon,
What,
trout.
what part?
I work in King Salmon, which is Bristol Bay. So
Yeah.
when you look at Alaska, you got, see if I can do it here. You got the Aleutian Islands, and then
Yeah.
Bristol Bay is like right in that little pit, the armpit
You can
there.
remind me to look you up there because I want to go up there.
It's a beautiful spot. It's
So I do a
incredible.
lot of fly fishing in South Florida. So
Okay.
I love tarpon fishing. They're a pain in the
Oh
ass.
yeah.
Uh, but we do like a lot of pompano. We used to be able to do permit. All the sharks eat them now.
Yeah.
But and then we chase sailfish on fly, which is a nightmare. We have to have like 15 shots just to even hook one. It's a pain in the ass. But I'm getting ready to do a trip for striped marlin and blue marlin on fly exclusively in the Galapagos, but they're pretty thick there.
That's cool.
I like to do
I grew
Magdalene
up.
Bay. So I love fly fish because I fish so much. Like people don't understand how freaking hard it is to
No,
do.
it's
It's
not.
like,
It's. I grew up fishing. I grew up on Cape Cod, and so I
yeah.
started fly fishing in saltwater, and then moved out west and started fly fishing for trout. So the transition was tough, but it's definitely, taking somebody who's never held a fly rod, or and used to conventional fishing, and trying to switch their brain over to how the fly rod works. It can be a challenge, but
No, we got to, I would, so I've only been I've been to Alaska twice, but um, I don't like to go out and do the traditional, like, charter boat type of thing. To
no, we
me,
go
fly
out in a
fishing
little
is special.
aluminum John boat, and it's
Oh my
usually one or
God.
two clients, and then myself, and we go target 30+ inch rainbow trout
Okay.
on fly rod.
Now I'm gonna have to write your name down. So
Yeah,
I got people like all over I got this guy in the Galapagos. I've gone down and done the Caribbean. And then
nice.
everybody gets pissed when I pull the fly rod out of the boat. They're like, "What are you doing?" I go, "God, I go, I've never seen it like so. We do kingfish on the fly in the summertime here. They're a lot of
Hmm.
fun. They're big, they skyrocket, but it's so freaking hard. And
Yeah.
3 years ago, I spent 3 days just chasing monster Dorado down on fly, and
Oh,
I
that's
think
cool.
we had 12 chances, and we only hooked two, and I got one in, but they're smart. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them go, nah, I don't want that. I want that bait over there. And like, it's really frustrating to see a 30, 45-pound fish behind the boat all lit up and he won't eat the fly. It's
Oh,
like,
I know.
and you
That's part
have
of
to
the
be
reason I.
patient and you have to you have to go through iterations to piss them off.
Oh yeah.
And then a lot of times we have to let them, bite the big bait and tear it up. And then you throw the fly in. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. I have a buddy who did the swordfish on fly. He did 19 trips to master it. It's
Oh
great.
my
I mean, he
God.
spent a fortune. Like
That's insane.
to me one of the hardest fish to do. So
Yeah.
I got to stop talking about fishing. I'll go all day, dude.
I could do the same thing.
I love this
That's
shit,
part of the
dude.
reason I kind of
This is why I
resonated.
do wholesaling. Is because I like when the docks fill with fish. Like I live on the water. I hop in the boat and I go. My
Yeah.
son's like, "Are you nuts? We have a live stream today." I go, "Dude, just call me from the phone, man." I go, "When they
Right.
bite, they bite." Florida's there's more pressure everywhere on it,
Oh yeah.
just like it is on wholesaling.
I
So
spent a lot of time. My grandparents had a place in Fort Myers in Cape Coral, and so we spent a lot of time out there.
yeah.
And so I saw the kind of the change in pressure, and then also the red tide and how that can affect it all too. But
But we do so we have a lot of big snook in our area. That's what we're known for
nice.
here. And so when it gets a little bit cool like this, but almost every day I go out there with like a new fly.
Hmm.
And I just mess with these are big 30-pounders that sit off the dock, and
Oh, that's so cool.
I will tell you the biggest snook eat the tiniest flies you would ever see,
Yeah.
but it's a whole new story. The problem is hooking those big ones around the docks. It's almost impossible. You'll ruin more fly rods because they just take it straight under the
Oh,
dock.
right underneath. Yeah.
So you got to be from a boat and be able to pull them out. We also do We do small Goliaths on fly, but it's usually a nightmare.
Oh
They
yeah,
come up, they eat it. They're
that's
stupid,
cool.
but
That's
they
cool.
wrap you around the piling. So okay, but like let's talk about wholesaling.
Yes.
What
So
specific question?
um, part of the reason I brought up Alaska is because like the what I'm doing right now, I'll kind of go through my workflow throughout the day, and over the past 10 days, I've been mostly cold calling, and that's kind of been my marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Both driving for dollars lists locally, and also like vacant absentee owner, tired
Uh-huh.
landlord lists virtually. And I mean, I've done almost 2,000 calls in the last week and a half, or last close to 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
My problem is my contact rate's like 8%, and it's like the people I do talk to, I'm having a hard time. It's mostly just like, no, I have no interest in selling my house. I gotten a couple maybes that are like, yeah, maybe if you call me in 6 months, something might have changed.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem like, and I have a confidence in myself that if I get in front of somebody who's motivated, I could, I could probably close. But the tough part is just sorting through those unmotivated sellers and getting through to those people that actually want to sell.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm not going to give you like any magic secrets
no,
here.
yeah.
So you do have to adapt. Some lists just don't work out.
Hmm.
Is cold calling getting more challenging? Yes, it is. I don't even hide from the facts from you.
Right.
Remember when I first did SMS texting with Zach, I thought it was like a freak thing. And honestly, it exceeded, even though at the time it took us 4 months to figure it out, like we stuck through it and we got it done. Is cold calling more challenging? Yes. But so you got to find what's going to be the right list and the right market. And are you, your response rates in reference to mostly your virtual markets or your local?
I'd say my local market is a little bit better. I am
Yeah.
using local phone numbers for those virtual markets as well.
Yeah.
I think the tough part is kind of the time change. I've been trying to make it so like if I'm cold calling from 2 to 6 Mountain Time, I'm
Yeah.
starting out with those East Coast phone calls, and then when it turns out to be, 6 to 7 o'clock East Coast time, I'll switch back over to my Utah calls. So then it's
Yeah.
local time here. Um, but I did have some good conversations. I recently I've been doing a lot in Tennessee just because I have some family out in Tennessee,
Okay.
um, and but just after hearing about some of the competition and just everybody that talks about virtual wholesaling on the internet, one of the most common places I hear about is Tennessee. So I'm trying to avoid having the places that are the most talked about. I don't mind having a place that has some competition. That
Yeah.
means that there's a market there, but I want to avoid the places that are just like all the gurus and all the Instagram lives are talking about virtual wholesale and how good they're doing in these places. So
So just understand, like most people, they just lie to you on the internet. Like
mhm,
I just, so I, here's one of the techniques I like to do is I don't like to reinvent the wheel and I don't like to go through exhaustive like data searches.
right,
You can use actually some of the stuff, but remember, it's all dated information. By the time you figure it out, you're still going to have to make a guess. I like to reverse engineer people that are successful. The problem is you actually have to go in and find out if they're actually doing what they're saying, which is really hard on the internet anymore.
hmm,
But once people start flashing pictures of properties and like start talking about cities, I pay attention and I just reverse engineer because people are stupid. Like they brag, their egos are much bigger than their brains. And I've made so much money off reverse engineering wholesalers that brag on the internet.
hmm,
But I find the louder they are, usually they're not nearly as good as they think they are. So you
right,
got to find the guy that's kind of using his ego, but doesn't know what he's doing. And I go, hey, he just showed 3 properties in zip code. I get on his cash buyers list and I just start reverse engineering. And then I figured even how he did his marketing. All I do is got to find an area where properties are like they're trading. And if people are already working with wholesalers, I just got to duplicate what they do. And I find it's just a faster path to find a virtual market. Every time I've guessed, I go, okay, let's go to Montgomery, Alabama. I usually get my ass kicked.
what I
It's
have done,
That's the problem with it. I like to find other people. And honestly, you have to verify it because if what the guy said's not true or you can't fact check any of it,
Right.
Here's how you don't reverse engineer the guys and gals that don't have a course. If they have a course, don't take a word they say, because when they don't have a course, they're actually telling the truth. Their ego's activated and they don't understand. They got it. Good wholesalers keep their mouth shut on good markets. I don't go around here
Right.
like, yeah, everybody knows the markets I do. I've done it so long, but I'm just telling you, the ones that go, oh, I've done 15 million and I'm doing it in Nashville, I just ignore them. And usually they have a course. The ones that don't have a course, that just got started and they're actually doing well, they're usually giving you very valuable data. And if you're dumb enough to tell that and put me on your cash buyers list, I will reverse engineer you every time. I'm not looking to steal anyone's deal. I'm not telling
Right.
you to do that. But if someone found gold in a certain area, I don't have to go do all the test holes or dig up thousands of yards of dirt to know there's already gold there. And they go, that person's no better than me. I'm going to work harder and outwork them. That's how I do it. I don't worry about saturated markets. I do agree in Salt Lake. Yeah, I wouldn't really be doing that one. So
Right.
you just got to kind of do test holes and find, if you can find somebody else having success. A lot of people go, Rick, that's cheating. I go, no, it's not cheating when they volunteer the information. And today I got 3 messages on an area where I do wholesale, and I'm like, okay. So I sent my guy up there to put bandit signs today. I know I'll
Nice.
get at least 3 or 4 deals, 3 or 4 leads, and they'll find a deal out of it. And I
Yeah.
go, something's going on in this area because now they're all moving again. And so get on cash buyers list, guys. I'm just telling you, it gives you a pulse. And once they put a property address, I can reverse engineer the whole thing. Once again, I'm not looking to steal their deal. I'm just looking to mimic their marketing area. And if sellers are selling to wholesalers in that area, I just got to figure out how to get ahead of those people and talk to them. And guys, I in my own backyard in Stuart, Florida, I don't market my backyard because it doesn't work. Like my market, it's nuts. Everything's 700-800 grand here. It doesn't work anymore. So I pivot. I constantly change and I do it. But I will always do my local market because those are the ones I make all my 6-figure deals in.
Right.
And then once again, any type of probate you can do on that type of marketing, it'll pay you in the long run. It's going to take some time, but it'll pay you. So you just got to hang in there. I'm telling you, reverse engineers people's markets that are doing well.
I
That is
did.
one of the fastest shortcuts.
I did use. I think it was your live yesterday. Maybe you were talking about Grok AI, or just the other day.
Yeah.
And I put a prompt in there that was pretty much like talking about all the parameters of these good virtual wholesaling markets I've seen people talk about.
Yeah.
And then prompted it to find me a market fitting those boxes that wasn't as well known on the internet.
Yeah.
And it did. I mean, from what it brought me to a couple spots in Michigan and some other places that I haven't really heard many people talking about, but the population, the median home price, everything else kind of lines up to where it seems like
Yeah.
it should be a good market. It seems like there's some active investments going on out there. So
Yeah. We'll just stick to it, Michael. It's not an exact science, but I'm just
Right.
telling you, you just be consistent because it is a learning curve, and you're perfect for this, man. It's just like fishing. Like
yeah,
you got to put in you got to go to all the spots where you couldn't get them to do anything, and then you got to and you just learn, and then you use the right equipment, and then once you're prepared, as this. So my buddy, you would appreciate this. I've got buddies that fish. I got some old military retiree guys, so we have a dock here, and like we go out there every day. And they come in, they go, fuck, Rick, dude, like when you come in, like you've got like 6 big tuna in there, you got 3 nice dolphin, and like usually have like I go, and they come in and like now when the fishing's really good, they get 2 or 3 decent fish.
right.
But if they go 10 times, they get 1 to 2 good trips. So they let luck always be. And they go, Rick, I had a 30-pound dolphin and he went to reach for the line and it snapped and this hook broke. And then you look at the reels and like there's like, I go, dude, when's the last time you updated the line? And so you look at wholesaling, they're like, I don't understand how you do it. And then so I'll take them. I go, well, come out to the dock. I go, well, come on the boat at 4 a.m. They go, why 4 a.m.? I go, because we prepare 3 hours the night before we go out and usually 3 hours before we go.
Right.
And I told them, I go, we spend 2 to 3 times as much preparing as we actually do fishing. And you would appreciate, this. And they don't want to do it. They leave all their rods and everything on the boats. And I'm just like, wholesaling is the same thing. If you prepare, when the opportunity comes, you'll put that fly right in front of your motivated seller's like mouth, and that's how I do it. And you've screwed up so many opportunities. Eventually you go, okay, I know how to do this when it gets in front of me. But I can tell you, I put a fly in front of a 60-pound dolphin's mouth in front of it. And it was the worst fly rod on like a 9 weight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 3.5 hours of the most frustrating battle. And I lost the fish because I had the wrong equipment. I'll never do that again. But I'm sitting in a school of dolphin, and the biggest dolphin in my life comes up, and I had a fly rod on it was an 8-weight, and I needed a 12-weight.
Right.
And with a 30-pound tippet, when that thing swallowed it, I knew I didn't have a chance in hell.
Yeah, I
and,
see that all the time up in Alaska.
And so I'm just telling you just kind of learn from that, and you appreciate it because you've missed out on so many opportunities, and hopefully you have mentors before you that teach it to you. You're gonna, people like, why are we throwing a fly in like an empty pool of water? I go, because you got to practice it. And there's something that happens when the opportunities in front of you, either it's a wholesaler or like a quality fish. If you haven't gone through it a million times in your mind, you're a dead man walking. I remember throwing a fly to the first striped marlin came up. I was shaking so violently, and I couldn't get it. I was wrapping it on the tip, and it didn't work out. I couldn't do it. Like, I had to throw a regular spin rod. I froze because I didn't practice enough.
Just reminded me of the time I was fishing with my roommate, who's, he's the guy I work with and share a room with in Alaska, and he is not very good at fly fishing. He tries his best, but he was using a spinning rod, and I was using a fly rod, and he gets the lure pretty much back to the boat, and I see him pretty much stop what he's doing and point at the water. He's like, look. And there's like 3 big fish chasing his lure. I'm like, well, and then they all, as soon as he points at them, they all swim away and go the other direction. I'm like, dude, I was like, you gotta keep it cool. I was like, you could have caught one of those fish if you just kept your composure and kept moving the lure and done what you're supposed to do. But instead, you blew it all.
Yeah. So just
you got too excited.
Like a lot of analogies I use, like wrestling and fishing, just because to me it's like they're very equatable. But like all the stuff you're going through right now is what sets you up for your future successes in wholesaling. And like everybody wants to skip it. Well, I wanted to skip it too. It wasn't feasible. So just go through your learning process. You're confident in it, and just the more you're prepared, the more you're going to get lucky. And I just tell you, like, I could tell you multiple times, like, oh man, how am I ever going to get another wholesale deal? And as long as I kept marketing and I kept talking to sellers, deals just over. Here I am 23 years later. Like, yesterday was a phenomenal day for me. And I'm just like, it just never stops. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. So I got to run, Michael. I'll talk to you all day, man. I'll see you, man. So guys, hold on. Let me get back here. Everything was XLeads. Remember, you have XLeads. Most of you pull the basic plan. You get your marketing list. You can do your skip tracing that's built in there. You can run your comps. You can do a basic database. You can do everything. And on the Ninja side is the part we built in, which is the Go High Level, which is free to you. And you can put in there, you can do your e-signings. You can do your SMS blasters. You can use your AI. And guys, you should really look at the inbound AI. Me and Tech went over there just a couple weeks ago. You want to take a look at that. Also, if you guys want to come out to the live event we have, which is April 9th, 10th, it is going to be in LA, and it's only for X-Plan users. Make sure you're signed up. I believe it's March 28th. Make sure you have that. And I'll see you guys soon. So guys, jump in XLeads, get started now. It's an all-in-one wholesaling software. If you have any questions, reach out to our support team. And they are off on the weekends, but I promise by Monday morning, we'll get everything caught up. And I appreciate you guys. See ya.